Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, music lovers and audiophiles. I recently got to tag along on a very special tour of Italy, arranged by Jain of Fidelity Imports. We visited 5 audio manufacturers that I've labeled hidden gems, based on hindsight, because after seeing their people and their manufacturing and their technology up close, I think you'll want to know about them. And I assume, like me, that many of you will be unfamiliar with these companies. First up, we have Unison Research, a wide-ranging maker of tube electronics. I hope you enjoy it. Unison Research is in Treviso, Italy, not far from Venice. But we didn't start our tour there. Instead, we drove about an hour into the foothills to visit the Tunella winery and vineyards. We tasted a variety of the wines they produce, along with local prosciutto and bread and an amazing cheese and potato concoction that frankly blew away mac and cheese for the mac and cheese lovers on the trip. At Tunella, we got a rundown of the winemaking process. I'm not really a wine drinker, but I was pretty impressed by the amazing level of detail the scientists and artisans put into getting the wine just so. One example is all the matching they do to align grape type, soil conditions, hillside slopes, underlying rock composition, and drainage with the particular style of wine they're making. And the effort doesn't end there, because they also align the type of oak barrels used, the length of time in the barrel, fermentation time, temperature, and many other factors to get things just right. Maybe more than anything, I was impressed by how much the people at Tunella seem to care about getting each step right. Heck, they judge the readiness of the grapes for picking by analyzing the color of a tiny portion of the stem. When that color is right, all the grapes of that type must be picked that day, no matter what. Now, Tunella is a family operation and has been for generations. Maybe that's why you got a sense of the responsibility they felt to get it right. The wine seemed impressive to me, and that would be a worthy motivator too. This story, of course, isn't unlike what we often see in audio, with its complex mix of art and science. And in audio, we have many businesses shaped by time and tradition and family. And we have an end product that brings real joy to the hearts and minds of customers. Something like that was certainly on display at Unison Research when we visited their facilities the day after we went to Tunella. Unison specializes in tube amplifiers. Their lowest cost integrated amps have tube input circuits and solid-state power stages. I was introduced to that line, which is called Unico, and I listened to the Unico integrated amp, which got a Best of Show award at Expona, and it's priced under $2,000. That didn't prepare me at all for the other end of the Unison line. I'd have to say Unison Research seems to have a soft spot in their hearts for integrated amps, and they showed us several models that had smoke coming from my ears. The Absolute 845 is a giant at 32 inches wide and weighing in at 199 pounds. Below this in the line is the Performance Anniversary amplifier, which was impressively sized and designed as well. These are medium power amps that I believe are aimed at the relatively large horn speaker market in Europe and in Asia. But frankly, they could work nicely with the new generation of high sensitivity cone speakers as well. We also got to hear a new integrated, the black edition of the Simply 845 amp. Unlike most black edition products, this is far more than a cosmetic change. The main circuits and the power supply boards are completely new, with the goal of increasing linearity and reducing noise. The increase in complexity of the black edition circuits appears to have maybe doubled component counts, especially in the power supply section. A listening comparison with the new black edition, compared to the older model, which is still in production, showed that science and engineering have their benefits in the right hands. The black edition was smoother sounding and more resolved at the same time in a way that you could notice in 5 seconds, 10 seconds, quickly. Speaking of science, we had the good fortune of interviewing Dr. Sacchetti, a founding member of the Unison Research team and a professor of engineering. Grabbing a nearby whiteboard, which he covered with diagrams, Dr. Sacchetti made it crystal clear that the ideas behind Unison's choice of tubes were based on engineering logic. But he emphasized that this logic had to be tied to the way humans perceive and respond to music. Without art, no science. At least that's what I think he said. Maybe it was no espresso, no science, or no wine, no music, or all of the above. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video introduction to Unison Research, and that we'll see you again soon.